Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
As we saw in the last lesson of this chapter, when you draw an object, the object should appear as being already selected. However, if it is not selected, then you need to click it in order to select it prior to formatting the object. Once the shape has been selected, you will see the Format tab of the Drawing Tools Contextual tab appear in the ribbon. This tab provides you with several formatting options for the selected object. At the left end of the Format tab in the Drawing Tools Contextual tab in the ribbon is the Insert Shapes group. The large scroll box in this group contains quick access to the shapes that you can insert and functions in the exact same way that the Shapes button's drop-down menu does back on the Insert tab. So you just click on the shape that you would like to insert, and then click and drag to draw it, or simply click to draw it. Now, to the right of the listing of shapes are two additional buttons, the Edit Shape button and the Edit Text button. For some types of shapes that are drawn by hand, such as the freeform shape or the squiggle shape, you can click the Edit Shape button to display the editing points of the object. You can then click and drag the points in order to change the shape of the object. So if we wanted to draw a freeform shape, you could choose that in the Insert Shapes group. Click and drag to draw a shape of your own choosing. And if you wanted to edit the shape, you can click Edit Shape in the Insert Shapes group and choose Edit Points. That will show you all the different points for the shape, which you can then click and drag to change the border of the shape that's drawn, or in case of the squiggle, the shape of the line that's drawn. And then just click into the blank area of your document to stop editing the shape. If you wish to add text to the shape that you've drawn, which may not be possible for all shape types, then you can click the Edit Text button to turn the selected shape into a text box. You can then enter the text into this shape in the same way that you would a document or another plain text box. Note that if you do add text to a shape, then this entire grouping of buttons disappears and is replaced by the text group. In the Shape Styles group, you can make stylistic changes to your shape that affect the appearance of the fill and the line of the shape. You can scroll through the choices shown in the large scroll box of preset shape appearances, and then click on the one that you would like to apply to your shape if desired. You can also simply use the buttons available to the right of the scroll box to completely customize the appearance of your shape. You can use the Shape Fill drop-down to fill the inside of your shape with one of the many available colors, patterns, pictures, gradients, or textures available. Note that this button is unavailable for shapes that do not contain any fillable area, such as lines and arrows. If you wish to select a fill color, then you can simply click on one of the colors shown in the Shape Fill button's drop-down menu. If the colors shown aren't quite what you need, notice that you can select the More Fill Colors command in order to open the Colors dialog box. In the Colors dialog box, you can create almost any color you desire. You can either click the Standard tab and then select one of the standard colors shown in the honeycomb of color choices, or you can click the Custom tab and then click on the color that you want. Note that at the bottom of both tabs, you can use the Transparency slider to set the level of transparency you want to apply to the fill. Now, if you open the Color dialog box, click the OK button once you've made a choice in order to apply the selected color. Note that if you did apply a fill effect to a shape and then wished to remove it, you can select the No Fill command from the Shape Fill button's drop-down menu in order to remove any fill effect. You can also insert a picture into your shape as a fill effect. To do this, you would choose the Picture command from the Shape Fill button's drop-down menu of choices in order to open the Select Picture dialog box. Here you can navigate to and then select the picture that you would like to use as the fill effect for the selected shape. You can select a gradient to apply to the selected shape by rolling your mouse pointer over the gradient command in the Shape Fill Buttons drop-down menu and then clicking on the preset gradient that you would like to apply to the shape. If you want to add a texture to the shape, then choose the Texture command from the Shape Fill Buttons drop-down menu, and then click on the texture that you want to apply from the choices shown in the side menu. You can also fill a shape with a two-color pattern of your choice by selecting the Pattern choice from the Shape Fill Buttons drop-down menu of choices. This will open the Fill Effects dialog box and display the Pattern tab. In this tab, you use the foreground and background drop-down buttons to select a foreground and a background color for your pattern. You can then select the pattern that you want to apply from the large listing of available patterns shown in the pattern list at the top of the dialog box. You can then click OK at the bottom of the dialog box to apply the selected pattern. Back in the Shape Styles group on the Format tab of the Drawing Tools Contextual tab in the ribbon, you will also find the Shape Outline drop-down button. The choices that you make here affect the appearance of the line in the shape. This is also the button that you can use to alter the appearance of shapes that are nothing more than lines, such as the line shape and the arrow shape. If you click the Shape Outline button, you will see that you can easily select a color shown in the color palette of choices in order to change the line color of your selected shape. If you want to remove the line color, you can choose the No Outline choice from the Shape Outline Buttons drop-down menu. If you want to change the width of the shape's outline, then make a selection from the side menu of choices that appears when you roll your mouse pointer over the Weight command within the Shape Outline Buttons drop-down menu. Likewise, you can choose a different dash style for the line by making a different choice from the side menu that appears when you roll your mouse pointer over the Dashes command. If you are formatting a line shape or an arrow shape, then you can change the end points on the line or arrow by making a choice from the Arrow menu. So we're going to draw a line here. And note that you could then choose the Arrow menu and choose different endpoints for the line or the arrow. Also, like the fill of a shape, you can make the outline a pattern of your choosing. Note that the weight of the line would need to be quite significant before you would notice a pattern in a line. However, if you do select the Pattern choice from the Shape Outline Buttons drop-down menu, it will open the Fill Effects dialog box and display the Pattern tab once again. Here you can use the foreground and background drop-down buttons to select a foreground and background color for your pattern. You can then click on the pattern that you would like to use from the large listing shown in the Patterns list and click OK to apply it to the selected line. Now back in the Shape Styles group on the Format tab of the Drawing Tools Contextual tab in the ribbon, you will see the Change Shape button. You can replace the selected shape with another shape of your choosing by simply clicking this button and then choosing the replacement shape from the listing of shapes shown. You can use the Shadow Effects group on the Format tab of the Drawing Tools Contextual tab to apply shadowing to your selected shape. To do this, just click the Shadow Effects drop-down button and then choose the desired shadow style to apply from the choices shown in this menu. If you want to change the color of your shadow, then you can click the Shadow Effects drop-down button and roll your mouse pointer over the Shadow Color command. You can then choose a color from the palette of choices shown. Note if you would like it to be a semi-transparent shadow, then make sure the semi-transparent shadow command is selected within the side menu of shadow color choices. This will allow objects placed behind the shadowed shape to appear through the shadow. Now, if you apply a shadow, you can also make use of the 5 small buttons that appear in the Shadow Effects group. You can click the 4 directional buttons to nudge the shadow in the direction shown by the buttons. You can actually click the button in the middle of the 5-button set to toggle the shadow on or off for the selected shape. If you would like to apply a 3D effect to your shape, you can do that instead of applying a shadow effect. You cannot, however, apply both effects to a single shape. To apply a 3D effect to a selected shape, click the 3D Effects button in the 3D Effects group, and then choose the desired 3D effect to apply from the 3D Effect button's drop-down menu of choices. Note the various commands located at the bottom of the button's drop-down menu. These commands allow you to customize the appearance of the 3D effect. You can roll your mouse pointer over the 3D color command to show the palette of color choices from which you can choose a color for the 3D part of the shape. You can roll your mouse pointer over the depth command to select the amount of 3D depth to apply to the shape. You can roll your mouse pointer over the direction command to display a listing of the available directions in which you could extend the 3D aspect of the shape. You can also switch the 3D effect from parallel to perspective in the same side menu if desired. This also alters the appearance of the 3D part of the selected shape. You can also choose the lighting command to select the direction from which you want the lighting to appear to strike the 3D object. You can also select the intensity of lighting to apply from the bottom of this side menu if desired. You can roll your mouse pointer over the surface command to select from what type of material the 3D shape should appear to be made. This affects the appearance of the surface of the 3D shape. Also, like the Shadow Effects button, you have a set of 5 buttons available at the right side of the 3D Effects group that allow you to alter the appearance of the 3D shape. You can click any one of the 4 directional buttons shown in order to rotate the 3D shape in the selected direction. You can also click the middle button in the set in order to toggle the 3D effect on or off. The buttons shown in the Arrange group of the Format tab and the Drawing Tools Contextual tab display the same options that you had when you learned to format pictures and clip art. In the Arrange group, you will find buttons that allow you to change the placement and text wrapping for the selected shape. You can click the Position button to select one of the preset placement options for the selected shape. If you have overlapping shapes in your document, you can click the Bring to Front or Send to Back drop-down buttons in order to change the order in which the shapes overlap each other within the stack of overlapping shapes. You can click the Text Wrapping drop-down button in order to select from one of the preset text wrapping options available for the selected shape. You can click the Align button in order to choose from one of the available alignment options. The Group button is used if you have multiple drawn shapes simultaneously selected in your document. In this case, you can click the Group button to group the individual shapes together as a single unit. So if we wanted to group this line together with this arrow, we could select both of those objects in our document by holding Shift and then clicking on both of them. Then you can click the Group button. And note that that then treats them as a single unit. You can also ungroup a selected object that's been grouped by clicking that same button and choosing Ungroup. And then you can manipulate them independently once again. For a selected shape, you may also click the Rotate button to select a rotation option for the selected shape within your document. Also, like images, you can use the Size section to resize the shape if desired. You can use the spinner arrows at the right end of either the height or width text boxes to increase or decrease the height or width of the selected shape.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.